Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name is Caitlin and I'm the creator at Cash Stuffed. And every single month I like to do a monthly debt check-in to see the progress I've made on all of my debts and to also just have this be an open and safe space for us to talk about debt and money and finances, just because I feel like so often it's something people don't like to talk about because it makes them uncomfortable. And for the longest time, that was me. I hated talking about money. I couldn't even open up my bank account because I was scared to know what was in it. It's just the truth. My fiance, he grew up not talking about money, so it's something we've had to adjust and adapt to together. So I want this to be a really safe space for you guys, and I have some high numbers on here. So if you do too, just know that it's not just you, and we're all gonna get through it together. So every single month I do this on the first Wednesday of that month, and I started this channel January of 2025, and so we're in February of 2025, and I'm gonna be going over what the amounts were last month, what they are this month, and kind of introducing some new ones that kind of correspond with where I'm at in my life right now. And at any point in the comments, I encourage you to share. You don't have to share an amount if you don't want to, but you can. Share one debt that you would really like to pay off this year. Just set a goal of one. I'm really hoping to pay off two of these in particular. One of them I do think is very achievable, and because we're actually already over halfway. And then there's a second one that I do feel like is possible if I just really work hard. So on that note, I'm going to go ahead and get into it. I have my computer right here. That's what I'm pointing out. I probably should have mentioned that. I have that right here, and I have the amounts from last month, and then I'm going to share what I'm at this month and then go into it. So, okay. So the first one that I have, my first debt, is my Capital One credit card. That one was the credit card I had basically out of college, first apartment, all of that first job. That's the one that when I lost my job during COVID, I obviously didn't have the money to pay for the credit card bill, and credit card companies don't care if you can't pay your bill, so they immediately close your account and send you to collections and impact your credit score. It's awesome. So that one, that was one of those things where like I did start with a $10,000 limit because, let's give the 20-year-old $10,000 and make her feel like ecstatic. If anyone's watching this and you're 18, 19, 20, 21, whatever, you're in college, getting out of college, do not get a credit card with that high of a limit because you'll think that you're not going to spend it and then you end up doing it. You really do. It was something that I was good at for a little bit, and then we had some kind of emergency situations and I would use it, and then I started using it for stuff like, oh, well, I have this amount. I can just buy it because I have this. Don't do that. What I've learned the most in the past couple of years is never spend money unless you have it. So, just rule of thumb. So that one started out with a $10,000 balance, and it was kind of close to that when the account was closed and went to collections. Last month I was at $7,644.72, and as of now, before I make February's payment, which is due at the end of this month, I'm at $7,519.32. I pay $125 every single month towards this. And eventually I would like to pay more. One of the things I'm going through, which I will kind of touch on more at the end of this with a new debt, is I'm getting married actually in a month. I get married on March 2nd. It's literally less than a month away, which is exciting, terrifying, and all at the same time. And so right now, honestly, all of our money is going towards paying for that stupid wedding. Like I can't make additional payments on things because between paying it, like living expenses, paying towards the wedding and everything like that, like I don't have any extra money to do anything. Like I budget everything to a zero-based budget, which you've seen, or you will see if you watch any of my cash stuffing or cash planning videos. So definitely check those out, by the way. So that at least has already made progress. If you think about where it was at 10,000 to like 7,500, that's $2,500. Now it's taken a couple years, but I would like to hopefully obviously get that one paid off. But that one's not my priority as one of the ones I want to pay off this year. Just an FYI there. My second credit card that I have is Discover. I had those two, just at the time, kind of similar. Capital One I've had the longest. Discover was the second one. Last month, that one, sorry, I just looked over. My dog's chewing on a phone. I just didn't know what that noise was. Last month it was at $4,708.70, and now it is at $4,676.70. And I'm still, I don't know how much longer I have to check, on a slightly lower payment of $72. I usually pay between $128 and $130, and I only asked if I could lower that again just during the wedding. It gave me an extra $50 a month that I could put towards wedding expenses, and I think that's about to end very soon. And if you like even see the difference there, if I'm paying $72 and I mean, I didn't even get a full $70 in my payment. I didn't get that because of the interest, which sucks. Another reason why you should always, if you can, pay more towards your credit card than you might have. But we can't always do that. Life happens. But that's where I'm at with that one. That one had like a 5 or 5,500 credit limit when I first got it. This is one that also got closed, but actually not because of COVID. This one was kind of interesting. I don't really, to this day, I still don't understand, and I can't ever get in touch with someone. This is something, again, I guess this is a life lesson for anyone else who wants to learn. But with that credit card in particular, I was actually always fine with that one, paying it on time, for the most part. We've all missed a payment once in our life, let's be real. And that one in particular, I was on this like lower interest payment plan or something for a period, I think it was during COVID or right after COVID when I got my new job. I don't know what it was. It was some time. And I was on a lower thing. I had lower interest charge, all this stuff. And it was like a 6-month plan or whatever. But I couldn't use the card. It was strictly to pay it off and get me back on track. I was like, this is great. Well, once that was done, they actually ended up just closing my account and not even speaking to me. I got a thing in the mail saying, or it was email or mail, it was both maybe, saying like, oh, we've closed your account because you weren't using it and all this stuff. And I was like, but we had this agreement in place, which I had to agree to do. So it was really weird. So both of those credit cards are essentially closed, and obviously that doesn't look good on me. But I have been making the payments on it. So it's just one of those is what it is. But that is actually one of the ones that I want to pay off this year, just because it has such high interest, and I'm not making any progress on it. I mean, that thing has like a 5 or 5,500 credit limit. It has basically had that 4,600 balance, I swear to God, for like 3 years. Like, I'm just throwing money away, and it's painful. So really would like to get rid of that one because it's annoying. Okay, my third debt, and this is one I actually didn't have a number on last month, but I grabbed it for today. It is my student loan. I have $14,611.96, and I had this also on a pause up until this month, actually. It resumes at the end of this month. Same reason for the wedding. I just really, my monthly payment's $180, and again, for anyone who's in college or is getting out, something that you guys should know is that when you start making payments towards your student loan bills, it actually gradually goes up every single year, and it actually doesn't really matter if your income goes up to match. At first I thought it was like income based, like, oh, you make more money, it goes up. That might be part of it, but one of the biggest things is they just go up every year because they can, whether or not you have it in your budget. So that's something that was really hard for me to understand and adapt to, and it doesn't matter who you call. They don't really seem to care if you can only make a lower payment. They just kind of say, we'll figure it out. So that makes it hard. But I wanted to share that because when I logged into my little portal today, it shows like, okay, this is the amount of interest you've accrued over the time during this pause, which was like $300. It was like $324, I think. Or $324, not $3.24. And so it was great to give that snapshot because I have to also go in and grab like my tax forms for, doing my taxes for the previous year right now anyways. So that's where that number is. That is also not one I plan on paying off this year, but I do plan on hopefully making a dent. This is something, I can't remember the final amount that it was when I first got it. I feel like it was in the like lower 20s, I believe, because I really only had to get mostly one student loan with college because I had scholarships for pretty much everything else, I was very fortunate to have done. Do that if you can. There's money laying everywhere. I promise. All these companies and organizations have so much available. And if you ever want a video on that, let me know. I learned a lot when I was looking for it, and I'd be more than happy to help you guys too. So that one, I'd like to at least start making progress again at the end of this month. My next debt is our mattress that we have. That was my first credit card back after everything had happened when we got our mattress. I think as of now, it's 2 years ago. I feel like we're going to have this paid off actually, hopefully this year, which would be nice by the end of this year, or, my goal is before. This is actually one of the main debts I'd like to get paid off, is this one, because the balance right now is basically, I didn't have the right number here, but it's basically like 1,500 something. The reason why I want to get this one paid off is because it's kind of been a real pain in my butt. The main reason why is when we bought our mattress, it was like almost $3,000 or something. It was something like that. I can't quite remember. And I've been making the payments on time every single time. It's got 0 interest. Like, it's been great. It's been awesome. I think we got it through like Mattress Firm. And I got a letter literally a couple weeks ago, maybe like 2 weeks ago saying like, oh, because I got a notification that my credit score dropped 11 points. I'm like, what the hell? Like, I've been working so hard to get it 1 point a month. Where did this 11-point drop come from? Well, fun fact, the mattress company decided, or my Synchrony is who has it, they decided that because I wasn't spending the leftover $1,500, because again, I didn't have to go buy another mattress or pillows or anything. So I was like, I don't need anything else from a mattress firm. I'm just paying this. They decided to cut my credit limit in half, which made my usage of the entire amount go up to basically the full thing. So it took my credit score breakdown, it took my credit usage up to 90%. And I had it the optimal 30% or something like that for the longest time. So I was like, oh my God. Granted, as soon as I made a payment, it obviously kind of helped. Yeah, Diesel? That's my dog. Well, you could see him at first. He's kind of in the corner. There we go. I feel every time I do this, I get backwards where my hand's pointing. He's over there. As soon as I made a payment, it did automatically kind of help, but it definitely kind of screwed me a little bit. And again, I got no notification that they were going to do that. They just basically told me they did it. So that is one thing that's really kind of annoying about credit card companies many times is there's no discussion. They just do things without telling you, or without consulting you is the better word, because they tell you after they've done it without consulting you. So that's just, again, something to know and be prepared for. But yeah, that's one that I really want to get paid off this year, because I'm honestly so close. And I do feel like I did some math a while back. Once the wedding's done and we have a little extra money, I can change our monthly $66 a month payment to a $75, $85, even $100 payment from time to time, because I do think we'll be able to do that. And it'll get paid off a lot faster. So that's my goal there. Our fifth debt is something me and Chandler have together, but it's technically in his name. Diesel's surgery loan. He had TPLO surgery, which is ACL or knee surgery in dogs, 2 years ago. We needed $5,000 for the surgery, which we obviously didn't have lying around, so we got a loan through his bank. And that had $5,000 on it, and we are at $3,785.53. So that one we pay $127.97 every month. And that one has made some progress, but that would be one that would be really nice to get lowered, but it's not the second priority or an even equal top priority for what we want to get paid off. Sorry, my dog was about to get into something and I had to fix it. That's why there's a weird little shift there. Okay, my next one is one of Chandler's. This is his other one. It is his credit card. This was one that unfortunately had gotten closed almost kind of by mistake. He had his new card ready and he never called to activate it. And then when he called, they're like, oh, sorry, you're too late. We closed your account. So again, it's another one of those that's just sitting and paying off the balance. And that one had I think a $2,000 limit, and we're at $1,700, or I'll just say this way, $1,770.08. That one we pay between $40 to $50 every month. That's the even second priority or even top priority with one I want to get paid off this year, because otherwise he doesn't really have a bunch of stuff in his name since that one, which actually I'll get into that at the end. He doesn't have anything really since then, or he didn't until recently, to start doing anything in his name and building something. So that's something that we really want to kind of evenly get paid off. So that way with his new one that we have, which I'll get into in just a second, it'll, make things better. So two new debts that we have, which I guess is technically three. One of them hasn't even happened yet, but I'll explain. I don't want to confuse you, because I feel like I'm going to confuse myself. I recently got a Sam's credit card because we have a Sam's Club membership, and I was like, hey, this will be a great way for me to start working on my credit since my accounts are closed, and except for the mattress, I'm paying that one off, but something I can regularly use. And we go to Sam's every single week, whether we use it to fuel for gas, whether it's getting groceries, whatever it is. Now my dog's making a bed. Diesel. He's being such a busybody because mommy's filming videos and not playing with him. Diesel, just lay on your bed, buddy. He's got the biggest bed in the world, and he's just throwing a little puppy temper tantrum. There you go. That's a good boy. Oh, the bigger they are, the bigger the baby. I swear to God. Okay, so I got a Sam's Club credit card. I was really excited I was approved because I was like, okay, I'm going here every single week. I'm putting money aside. Why not actually give myself some benefit here? Because again, I'm not spending the mattress one. I'm just paying it off. So I got approved for a low $1,500 limit, which is all. I was fine with even a $500 limit. I didn't want anything too high. I wanted something reasonable that I could always have and pay off. And right now, I actually do have a little bit of a balance on that. I have $527.76, and in January, I made a $100 payment, and then I just went to Sam's this past weekend, which is why it went back up. That one I was initially actually regularly paying off immediately after I used it. But we had an interim period where I was late on being paid for something. We had like a wedding deposit due. And the only way we were really going to get the things we needed was if I actually charged it to the credit card. It was just one of those things where it's like, you know, when life happens and like, that's why you have a credit card. I don't want that to ever be the norm, but it was, and it needed to be a month ago. So I'm pretty confident I can get that one back down. I don't know if it's going to happen with this upcoming paycheck that we get this week, but most likely the one after, which I'm pretty sure when I look, the payment's not due, or the minimum payment isn't due until the end of the month anyways. So I'm not too worried about it. It's still somewhat of a low amount. And I'm really, you know, going to be making progress on it no matter what. So just one of those things, you know, just wanted to share and be open and honest about that. Because we've all had those times where we've just kind of had to use a credit card even though we didn't want to. And I really didn't want to do that with that one because I wanted to keep that one under control, which I'd say it is, but it's higher than I would like. So we're going to get that back down, which will also help bring that usage score more reasonable. So that was the newest debt that I didn't have last month. I'm pretty sure I didn't share about that one. And then, or I don't know. One of the newest ones is Chandler actually just got approved for a credit card. Kind of the same idea that we had for the wedding. I'm like, okay, we have this money in savings. We are constantly paying off things. Let's go ahead and let's get a reward for it. Let's get him to build his score back up. Well, we both tried because I was like, let's both have something to see if we can do. He was really kind of the priority. I just had a slightly higher credit score than him. So I was like, I'm going to try too. Well, he got approved. I did not. He did, but guess how much he got approved for? $300. I was like, shit. Oh, there's my cat. I was like, well, we're going to be making a bunch of small payments for $300, which kind of worked out for like how we've been paying for our DJ, because you can make payments, you can do a total amount, and I've actually kind of been doing $300 increments, and it's kind of worked out. But fun fact, if you get approved for a credit card for the first time and maybe you haven't had the best credit history because of, you know, unfortunate, oh, he's okay. Oh my God, he's okay. See, you guys don't watch this for me. You watch it for the chaos that's behind me. If you do get a credit card and you haven't had like maybe the best history in a long time, something that you have to be prepared for is if you do use it, some things that they will do is, for instance, like we used it to make one of the deposits for the DJ, one of the payments. We already had the money in savings. He paid it off as soon as the payment posted to his account, immediately paid it. And how these credit card companies work is they actually kind of put a hold on your account for a handful of days, between like 3 to 7 sometimes, depending on what it is, to make sure that because of the history you have, that, and there's my cat, because of the history you have, that your payment is actually going to be successful and that it's not going to bounce or be refunded. Like you're kind of like viewed a little differently. You know what I mean? And I understand why. Like obviously I understand why they would do that in their business reasoning, but for the other person, if you are trying to do well, it kind of sucks. So he learned that recently when we tried to use it again, because I was like, oh, is your thing posted? Let's go ahead and do the next one. Again, I already had it in savings, moved it to checking, was ready to just pay it. Couldn't do that because of the hold. But I think by this point, when this video goes live, I do think that hold's probably up and we'll be able to do the next one. But I've also like already did one on my own, just using our checking, just to do it. You know what I mean? Just to be proactive and make sure we do everything and paid on time. So just a fun fact for anyone, if you are getting a credit card and you kind of had some crappy history from unfortunate events, just letting you know. And the last one, this one is new. It hasn't actually happened yet, but it is coming, and it is something that I will be most likely talking about for the next couple of months. We've been able to pay for a lot of the wedding in cash, which has been huge. It's been extremely hard, but it's been huge. One lingering debt of ours is the final venue deposit, which includes the catering, which all goes off of the head count and all this stuff. And then you have to pay the tip for the service and gratitude, like whatever, all those extra fees. You know what I mean? The final thing. And we don't have the final amount yet, because when this goes live, it's a week or so before, or it's 10 days before everything's kind of officially due. But a good range is between 8,000 to 9,000, honestly. which is hard because the catering itself is like $79 a person, and we're gonna have probably like 100 people, so it's expensive. Happy tears. Not happy tears. Anyways, so in order for us to do that, we've been able to pay for basically everything else ourselves. Like, I've paid the photographer, I've been paying the DJ. Like, those two amounts right there are over $6,000. I've been able to scrounge up that money and do it with all the, you know, the freelance and contract work I've been doing. But this is where we were really struggling to find that money. It was something that, like, I had more money coming in, and I have more money coming in, but some of this is after the 2-week deadline, which is what sucks. Some of it's coming probably a week after that. So my dad actually got approved for a credit card for $5,000, which we're going to use to pay a good majority of that. And then I'm just trying to come up with that remaining 3 to 4 somehow. I don't really know how yet. I'm working really hard to figure that out. But it was one of those things that, like, it's not something that they're doing. I mean, they're doing for us, but it's not something that they are paying off, you know, or like paying off themselves. Like, it's kind of a loan that we're taking through them, through my dad's credit card. You know what I mean? So we'll be making payments towards them monthly to kind of pay that off. And because they don't really have that kind of money. And that's kind of the newest debt that'll probably happen in about 10 days. So I just wanted to kind of be transparent about that, because that's one that will be probably updated to be added to my little spreadsheet here in March. But what is nice about that one, though, is he does have 0 interest for 12 months. So, like, our goal is to pay it off probably within 6. That's the goal. Fingers crossed. She like that little voice. But what's nice is no matter what, it's not like any payment we make, we are actually making a dent on the amount. Unlike a normal credit card that has all these high interest when you don't have the best credit history and you apply, you're kind of at the will of them. So that is essentially where we're at with our debts. Like I said, if you have any that you're wanting to pay off, you don't have to say the amount. You can say what it is, whether it's car, student loan, whatever. I'd love to see what you're working on in the comments below. I'd love to give you some support. Like I said, every month I do this check-in, and I would love for you to kind of follow along, and we can all pay off our debts together and just get ahead and have some financial freedom, because it's something that I really didn't think was possible. But after seeing cash stuffing and seeing all these different methods, I have seen a lot of progress with keeping things keeping things on time, just getting ahead of things, and it's been really great. So I hope you guys really like this video. Definitely subscribe, give me a thumbs up if you enjoyed it, and check out my other cash stuffing and cash planning videos. I have other stuff I plan on doing this year on this channel too, but that's where I'm starting, and I hope you have a fantastic day. Bye, everyone!